Four sizes, one of the largest selections anywhere. Come see the people who know boots best. The old Kmart building, Trav's Outfitter, best selection, best service, no BS.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
The NBA Finals was on Monday night, and an average of 23.8 million viewers took in the game. That's the highest-rated Game 3 of an NBA Finals since the Bulls and Jazz played in 1998. Game 4 of the NBA Finals is tonight in Madison Square Garden. Spurs and Knicks tip it off at 8:30 Eastern Time with the Knicks up 2-1 in the best-of-7 series. The Kansas City Chiefs and quarterback Patrick Mahomes agreed to extend his contract by 2 more years, as his deal is now worth $504.75 million and goes through 2033. Starting in 2027, ESPN and the NFL Network report that Mahomes' average annual salary will be $64 million. That's the most of any player in NFL history. Dolphins gave center Aaron Brewer a contract extension. Former Bills defensive end A.J. Epinesa signed with the Eagles. Yankees beat the Guardians 8-4, Rays over the Red Sox 7-5.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, what a Wednesday, man. We're lined up and ready. Let's get going. South Dakota Sports Talk Show back on Fox Sports Radio across the state. Our great affiliates, Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome in, West River. Hope you're having a great week, middle of the week. Let's get rolling tonight. Welcome in on KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls on your drive home. We appreciate you. It is always a great day in South Dakota. We can say that for sure. Summertime, we're going. What a show tonight. You're lucky. I mean, we try and do it up each day, but we got a couple of guests here that some A-listers and a guy that's never made an appearance on the Nate Brown Show in South Dakota. We got him, Ben Maller. Do you know this guy? The overnight hero. He's the guy that's developed this following on Fox Sports Radio. He hosts overnights across the country. So he's getting up, ready to go now for his show tonight. We're going to get him early. Fox Sports Radio's Ben Maller live tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. His first ever appearance on the Nate Brown Show. That's big time. Let's get rolling tonight. Welcome in on the radio side. We appreciate you. Remember, stream us in a few different places. Whatever's easiest for you. YouTube channel is up right now, The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Search for us, The Nate Brown Show, and watch us live there. X is on. Stream us on X, Twitter, at Nate Brown Show. We're on Twitter right now, at Nate Brown Show. Follow the show and watch us live. And finally, Midwest Sports Plus. Appreciate our partnership with Midwest Sports Plus, the high school sports live streaming app, and this show live there on Midwest Sports Plus. So let's look at it. Wednesday. Yeah, this looks good. I'm going to have fun with Ben Maller. We've had some great guests the last few weeks. Tim Brando was excellent. I mean, some of these guys are outstanding. So Ben Maller's on for the first time. I appreciate him coming on live from L.A., Fox Sports Radio national host of the Overnight Ben Maller Show. Christine Brenneman, really good sports writer and a long career. Now the new author of that New York Times bestseller, On Her Game with Caitlin Clark. Christine Brenneman in tonight from D.C. talking Caitlin Clark and the distorted reality. Is that what? I mean, everybody's just losing their minds over Caitlin Clark on like every which way. Every which way right now. This is wild to me. Christine Brenneman's coming in. She has a great book out on Caitlin Clark. Her reaction to the season so far for the Fever star. Doug Samuels on tonight. He's a football content director for FootballScoop.com. He's a college football guy and a high school football coach. So Doug Samuels, his reaction to the Brendan Sorsby situation as it continues to develop. There's something new every day on the Sorsby deal. Doug Samuels in tonight from Football Scoop. And to Denver, your favorite James Merilatt on tonight, talking Denver Broncos and more. James Merilatt's in. DenverSports.com. Wednesday show looks good. Ben Maller's waiting in the wings. Let's get popping tonight. 605-720-1067. We throw out the number because you can join the show there. 605-720-1067. Call us on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch, the best buffet in town. 2 great locations, East River in Brandon and East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Stop by, enjoy the buffet, bring the family, bring the team to the Pizza Ranch in Brandon and East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Barron's Wilson text line open as well. Text the show right here, 605-720-1067. That's your Lister text line, Barron's Wilson Lister text line since the start of the Nate Brown Show, 605-720-1067. Okay, so yesterday, this is interesting. I think I have a couple of questions for you to start today, and we're going to go NFL right away because the Kansas City Chiefs have made a new deal with Patrick Mahomes, and so I'm a Broncos fan, so can I be fair on this? Can I? If you've listened to the show, I don't like the Chiefs. Is that easy to say? Easy to say. So I respect the Chiefs. Don't get upset if you're a Chiefs fan. If you're a Chiefs fan and you've listened to the show, you know I respect the Chiefs a lot. I respect them a lot. I do think they're starting to go downhill. And that brings me to the news story of today, that the Chiefs are going to add even more years to Patrick Mahomes' contract. And this deal, when it's all said and done, he can average $70 million a year if he gets all the money. If he stays with this thing till 37 years old, he's going to average over the deal over the years $70 million a year. That's like NBA money. That's NBA money. So people say, hey, this is just the Chiefs just reworking things so they can work deals with other guys. And that's probably the case because they've been pretty smart on this. The Chiefs have moved this money and that contract and gotten rid of this guy at the right time. And I think the Chiefs have done a good job. Yeah, I think Brett Veach, the GM, I think he's done a good job. I can admit all of that. He built this thing into a powerhouse dynasty. And so I tend to think that the Chiefs are starting to go down the hill on the other side. And I wonder, would you think Patrick Mahomes is still going to be worth this dough in 35 years old, 36 years old, 37 years old? Because they're going to extend this thing out. I don't know why they have to do these things. The big number on this today is it's going to be worth $504 million. That's an NFL record. So the contract as a whole, if he gets the money, $504 million, that's a record. We're all, $500 million, and that's the big thing. They just added 2 years to it. And so you guys tell me, as you follow the Kansas City Chiefs, number one, Do you think you have to do stuff like this to throw more money out there? As a matter of fact, there's new money added to this deal's worth $239 million. I mean, it's not like anything to sneeze at here. It's $239 million of new money added to the deal. They make it sound like, well, they're just adding a couple of years. No big deal. The total value is over $504 million, and all I'm telling you is, let's just put that into perspective. Who is Patrick Mahomes going to be in 4 years? Who's he going to be in 4 years? Is he still going to be that guy? I tend to think this. The Chiefs had their big-time dominant run when Mahomes was really young, really good, the talent around him. Now everybody's gotten a little bit different. Kelsey's on the way out. O-line has been shaky at best. The defense has had to hang in, make sure the Chiefs stayed competitive. I thought last year was a sign where I don't know if the Chiefs are the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are still trying to live in this world. What my point is tonight, I think the Chiefs are still living in the world of a few years ago. They think, no, we're going to keep this thing going. This dynasty is still going. We're going to keep this train rolling, and we have to have Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to tell you, you have to have Patrick, but did you have to go to the meeting room and say, I guess we'll just add more money to this? Josh Allen, for example, he's going to get, where's Josh Allen at? $55 million a year. That's his value, annual value, $55 million. Patrick's going to be $70 million plus in the total value of this contract. And so I think normally what they say is you get into the mid-30 range, is he going to be Patrick Mahomes that he has been? I've been a Patrick Mahomes guy because I like going against him. I like rooting against him. I like beating him, the whole thing. But I've been a guy that's been with him because of his competitiveness. Like, he wants to win. Some guys get big money and they just mail it in. Like, I think Mahomes wants to win, competitive as heck, really fiery, puts in work, all of that stuff that you need. He wants to be the guy. So that's why I think he's usually a safe bet. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to be what they have been. I think they're going downhill, and that's the bet you make today. So the bet the Chiefs are making today, Mahomes is going to be outstanding, the best quarterback in the NFL for the next 4 to 5 years at least, and I don't know if you can say that. I'm not sure if you can say that. I'm not telling you he's just falling off the cliff. This isn't the Russell Wilson thing with my great Denver Broncos contract. This isn't Russell falling off the cliff and getting in a problem. But it's not what the Chiefs used to be, and I still think they think, we'll just do this deal. Let's add 2 more years. Let's add more money. Let's take him all the way till he's 37, and we're going to continue this dynasty and revive it and get going. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be what they have been. I think people would argue with me and say, well, the Chiefs say they can win the Super Bowl as much as anybody. I think there's been a decline last couple of years, and I don't think this new deal says, yeah, the Chiefs are back, we're ready. Patrick's only going to get older. He's only going to get a little slower. The injury, he's coming off that big thing. That's pretty big. Chiefs are all in. You can't do anything else, guys. So for you Chiefs fans out there, I mean, you're not going to let Patrick go. So you're never going to let that. I just don't, the agents must be working deals. Hey, we got a deal through 2031. Can we go to 2033? I mean, where does that even come up? Do we have to think about adding more time right now? That's what I don't get on these. I'm not an agent. I'm not in the room. I think he was good through 2031, and now we extend it out. Now, one thing you could say, hey, if he gets paid $70 million a year on average, you got to remember the salary cap's going up, Nate. So this is going to be a deal. I don't know if it's going to be a deal by the time he's 34. Time goes quick in the NFL. Time goes fast. Tom Brady was timeless. Tom Brady's timeless. Patrick Mahomes, we shall see. Big deal signed, extended him out till he's going to be 37 years old is the deal for the Chiefs. How long is he going to go? How long is Patrick going to be Patrick Mahomes? I don't think very much longer. Not as long as this deal, I will say that. That's my take on that. I will say that. Let's see. Josh Allen's deal takes him to 2031. So they were on kind of the same track. They were saying, hey, Josh got this deal. They took him to 2031. So maybe it's just that arms race. Patrick's agent, hey, if you want to keep Mahomes, Kansas City, let's add a couple more years. Let's stay ahead of Josh. Josh's deal's at $55 million a year, guaranteed. You're talking $330 million over that time. $330 million for Josh. That'll take him out to 2031. This deal for Mahomes, if you're counting, will take him out to 2033. Do you think the Chiefs will be the Chiefs? My question of the day. You tell me on the text line, because I think you're investing. You're making the bet. We're not going to decline. We're not going downhill. We can't let Mahomes go at all. That's the centerpiece. Will the Chiefs be the Chiefs? And is this deal what you would have done? Do you just have to do stuff like this? I don't know. 2031 still a long time. Still a long time away. They added 2 more years in a blockbuster deal. $504 million total value, a record in the NFL. Lister text, without seeing the details of the contract, it's hard to say, but I'm thinking it's probably backloaded. Those big numbers are to bring the average up, but not guaranteed. Yeah, here is what's guaranteed. $239 million in the new money. Okay, first 4 years. I should say this. First 4 years of the deal are guaranteed. Okay, all $504 million becomes guaranteed through contract mechanisms. What's that mean? I have that right in front of me. Are we playing Sports Agent 101? Yeah, all $504 million becomes guaranteed through contract mechanisms. You look that one up and get back to me. So, nonetheless, Patrick's going to get his money. Patrick is going to get his money. This isn't fools. We're just going to throw some money out right now and, kind of think he's going to get this. I think he's going to get his money. I'm not telling you he doesn't deserve it. I'm telling you as he gets older, I think that contract value is not going to look great. But this is 2026, and I hope you'll call me back in 2032, 2031 when he's starting to decline a little bit. Do the Chiefs get back on top? They might. I tend to be on the other side of that. And you're going to tell me that's my Broncos homerism. Well, the Broncos are coming along. They are coming along. We've seen that. The Patriots, they're coming along. There's all these AFC teams that are still there. The Chiefs had the big-time run, and I don't see that going on again where it's just dominance, AFC championship every single year. I don't see it. Patrick gets the payday in a big way, record-setting NFL deal. Ben Maller's getting ready to go. Fox Sports Radio national host. He is on overnights. You know Ben Maller, man. He does a great job when all of us are, sleeping. But I always go back and I take a look at some of Ben Maller's clips. He's one of the best hosts in the country. He's on Fox Sports Radio overnights. He's, what's he, getting up early? Starting his day a little bit on the Nate Brown Show before he goes to the overnight stretch on Fox Sports Radio for Game 4, the NBA Finals. We're going to start there. A lot to discuss. The great Ben Maller coming up live.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Save big on your next project at Menards. Check out our huge selection of Richmond water heaters. Whether it's electric or gas, tank or tankless, Menards has what you need in stock. Ensure that you have hot water for when you need it most with a new Richmond water heater from Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
This month, Spearfish GMC Cadillac is celebrating 35 years of business and 35 years of building lasting relationships right here in the Black Hills. To say thank you, we're featuring some great buys in our pre-owned department, all locally sourced and quality inspected. Cars, trucks, SUVs of all makes and models with something for every lifestyle and every budget. Whether you're looking for your next family vehicle or a dependable commuter, you'll find it at Spearfish GMC Cadillac. Celebrate 35 years with us and discover your next vehicle today. Shop online at spearfishmotors.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A wind advisory begins at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning and continues until 5 p.m. tomorrow night. Slight chance for storms this afternoon, otherwise sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Highs level off around 76, north winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight, lows level off around 49. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 72 degrees.
It's pouring all summer long at Cadillac Jack's. It's the Make It Rain $125,000 downpour. Be here every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. till midnight for drawings every 30 minutes that start out at $300 and grow to $1,000 prize packages at 11, 11:30, and midnight. Then on Saturday, July 18th, 10 lucky winners will take home their share of $10,000 in cash and prizes at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. How will your night play out?
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Host your next big event at the Box Elder Events Center, now featuring all new lighting, enhanced sound, and cutting-edge AV. Your destination for conventions, conferences, weddings, tournaments, concerts, and private parties of all kinds. Plus, their gourmet catering isn't just for on-site events, they'll deliver straight to you. Don't miss the Pickle Boo Pickleball Tournament and Fall Hoop Fest. Learn more and book today at thebox.live.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
All right, welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We are live on a big Wednesday on the Nate Brown Show. Game 4, NBA Finals. This has been a record setter, man. Huge numbers coming out on Game 3. Huge numbers coming out. Biggest ratings since 1998. I just saw that number on Game 3. Big one tonight in New York. He's getting ready for his show tonight. I hope you know this guy. You do, right? You stay up, or at least you get his podcast as it comes back. He's on Fox Sports Radio. I think he's done a great job. Really like his show overnight. Ben Maller, and he's on the Nate Brown Show in South Dakota on Fox Sports Radio locally for the first time. Ben, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, Nate, it's great to be on with you. I want you to know I have not been to South Dakota, but I want to visit. One of my places I want to visit before I check out here is the Badlands National Park. I have to get there. It looks amazing. At some point, Nate, I'm going to be on there. It's great to be with you, though. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so here's what I got, Ben. Badlands, 50 miles from this studio. Okay, 50 miles from this studio. Mount Rushmore, 35 miles from this studio. So you got to get here.
You're in a perfect location. You're in between both. So I could stop by and hang out with you, and then we could go on a tour of all the big things to do in South Dakota.
That's the big things. I'm ready for you. You let me know. I've had this discussion with some guys before. Okay, welcome in. I appreciate the time. I want to get right into sports because I know you have opinions, and I want to get to Game 4. What do you think happens tonight? Who has the momentum tonight as you get ready to watch?
Well, Nate, you know how I feel about momentum, but I am looking forward to it. You know, I have the overnight show, so I'm waiting, obviously, till see what happens in the game tonight. I picked the Spurs in 6, and you know we don't want to get our picks wrong, Nate. So I need the Spurs to win the next 3. They've already won 1, and then win the series in 6. And I'm really looking forward to tonight. There's going to be a lot of pressure on the NBA officials because of what happened with Wemby the other night, where he shoved Jalen Brunson. You get really punished for it and all that stuff, so we'll keep an eye on that. But I do think the Spurs are going to win tonight. I think the Knicks are a slight favorite if you look at the gambling line, but San Antonio is the better team. And really, you look at the first 2 games, I know the better team doesn't always win, Nate, but if you look at the first 2 games in the series, it was neck and neck down the stretch. The Spurs got outscored. I think they gave up the final 11 points in Game 1. And Game 2, we can play the shoulda, coulda, woulda game. Wemby had a wide open shot. I believe you would have made that shot, Nate. I know I would have made that shot, and he missed it. And so, obviously, makes it the Spurs win that game. So, I'm going with San Antonio tonight.
I would have made that shot 10 years ago, so I do agree with you on that. I'm going to ask you about this series from the Wemby standpoint. You talked about the controversy. People are saying, well, Wemby's getting the benefit from the NBA. There's a conspiracy. They don't want to hit him. They don't want to hit him with flagrants. Is that right or not?
No, this is how the NBA has always operated. I've ranted about this on my show. Like, Wemby should have been punished if things were equal. And as you know, Nate, from working in the radio business, things are not always equal, right? Certain people get treated a little better than other people. This is kind of how it goes. And so I look at the Wemby thing. This has been going on in the NBA for at least 45 years. You got to go back to the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird days. I don't know what happened before that. Those guys got calls that other players didn't get. Obviously, Michael Jordan, the Jordan rules, which was written by Sam Smith, the writer about that. And so there's always been certain rules for guys that are at the very top. And I get it. It's a TV show. And if Wemby had been retroactively given the flagrant foul, he would have been suspended for the game tonight, which would have given the Knicks essentially the series. I don't see how San Antonio could win an entire game without Wemby. So I understand why Wemby's out there. That being said, I would not be shocked tonight if somebody attempts to go old school, Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley. I don't know who that would be on the Knicks because they don't have that guy. In the old days in the NBA, this would be a retaliation situation.
Ben Maller joining us tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. You know him from overnight here on Fox Sports Radio, national host. He's on X at Ben Maller. Follow him as he gets ready for a show tonight. Game 4 is big. So highest ratings in Game 3 since 1998. We know that's Bulls territory. So why do you think this year's NBA Finals is off the charts? Is it Wemby? Is it New York? The combo?
Well, Nate, if you want my tinfoil hat, I'll go full Illuminati on you. They changed the way they keep track of the ratings. This is popular. I'm not saying that people aren't watching New York. My brother lives there, works right down the street from Madison Square Garden. We all know New York and how big it is and how ridiculous the size of New York is. However, they changed the way they track the ratings, and if you've noticed, Nate, every big event, just about every big event in sports, the ratings, they've set records. Like, all of a sudden, there's all these new people watching. It's the way they're measuring the ratings. So, I don't get the sense that there's, tons more buzz for this. It is better than last year. In the NBA Finals, the matchup is better this year than that.
Yes.
And the Knicks storyline, the fact that they've been losers. I don't think they're lovable losers, though, Nate. Do you think the Knicks are lovable losers?
I do not.
They're very annoying.
I do not. I don't think they're like my Cubbies, the lovable losers from back in the day. They're not like my Cubbies. Everybody thinks the Knicks are the underdog, but I guess they've surprised a lot of people and winning 13 straight. Do you think now, Ben, think if the Spurs win tonight, now it's a problem for the Knicks?
Oh, absolutely. They would have blown. They got to win again in San Antonio. They would all the pressure, if you want to play the pressure game, shifts. The pendulum shifts back to the New York Knicks. If they lose tonight, it's still on San Antonio because if the Spurs do not play well, we know it's 3-1, and for all reasonable belief, the series is over. Very rarely, the only one time the Warriors who choked because Draymond Green became the nutcracker in that 2016 NBA Finals. Outside of that, this is the pressure's on San Antonio tonight. If the Spurs win, it shifts back to the Knicks. And, as much as I love to goof on the New York fans, they are really good at laying it on thick, Nate. As you know, if the Knicks lose, it's here we go again. Same old Knicks. All that stuff will pop up again.
Okay, Ben Maller, I have to ask you about your show while I have you in South Dakota. You have a cult following. I mean, you got loyal fans. They're up all night with you. What is the joy about hosting overnights on Fox Sports Radio?
Well, Nate, thank you. I love being on late at night. There's a couple of reasons for that. I can pretty much do whatever I want. I have complete editorial control over 99% of the show, which I like. And as you know, certain parts of the day, you get a little micromanaged and all that. My bosses are really cool. They let me do what I want. And we do have a good little following of people that are loyal minions in the Maller militia. So it's been fun. I've been doing it a long time. We have a good time. It is a mix. It's not all sports. We start out, I do these monologues at the beginning every hour, and then we kind of goof around a little bit and take calls. And there's some very interesting characters, Nate, late at night.
I do know that. I do know that.
And it's like a moth to a flame. They're attracted to me, and it's different generations. I've been doing this a long time. Like they keep finding me. It's wild, but we have a lot of fun, and there's some great characters out there that are not appreciated because they have insomnia. They're up all night, and most of the world's sleeping. So if you can't stay up, though, Nate, as you said, I have the podcast. Everything's saved and archived these days. Just like you're on X, you get the live stream. I'm looking at you there. Nice studio.
Yes.
The whole thing. So I don't have that. But we're on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel, Ben Maller Show. So there's some different ways. It's 2026. You can find the show however you want.
That's a great show. It really is. I think it's undervalued, at least by some folks. So I will say that. Ben Maller on tonight, Fox Sports Radio host overnights. He's on X at Ben Maller. A couple more I'll let you run. Are you following this college football Brendan Sorsby story heavily? He's going to get to play if they don't overturn this after betting on his own team. Admitting it, Ben. He bet on his own team. He didn't play, but he bet on Indiana when he was there. Are you following this? What do you think is going to happen in college football?
Yeah, so I have followed it. It's quite the hullabaloo, and I think ultimately common sense will prevail. I've looked at some of the dates, though, and it does not line up for common sense to prevail. Something else is a higher power is going to have to come in. I don't know what that will be to keep him from the field, but it is wild that, and I love gambling. I hosted a TV show for a couple of years that was about gambling, and I think everything in moderation. Certainly, you can't be betting on your own team if you're doing it's common sense. Everyone knows that. The outrage machine has been cranked up. It's like 1 to 10. It's like a 22 on this kid. I think ultimately when we get to college football season, we're still a few months away from that. I don't think he'll actually end up being the quarterback at Texas Tech. I don't think he's going to play. So I think he will end up being punished. And how we're going to get to that point, I'm not sure, Nate. But there's people right now conniving behind the scenes to make sure he doesn't get out there and play.
Texas Tech supporters, donors, Cody Campbell, people like this say, there's kids that have had DUIs, there's kids that have had domestic assault, and they get to play. So why are we going to pick on Sorsby over this? Is that comparable?
Well, I believe the definition, I took debate class, I believe that is whataboutism, which doesn't normally work. I'll give you an example. When I get a speeding ticket every once in a while, and the officer will say, well, how fast are you going? I say, well, I was going the speed of traffic, or that guy. What about that guy over there? They were driving faster than me. It generally doesn't work, and gambling is the third rail, my man. It's the third rail, and the integrity of everything, and there's no reason to watch. I say that because I realize people do watch wrestling when it's all mostly scripted. But in professional sports and big-time college football and basketball, if it's not on the up and up, why are you going to waste your time and watch? It's just not worth your time. So that is the ultimate. You cannot cross that line, and he did it. And it's unfortunate, and he's going to have to be punished for it. And I believe he will be ultimately when everything everything is said and done, obviously more things are said than done. But yeah, the gambling thing, obviously you're not going to kill anybody with it, but it's in the sports world, it's as bad as it gets.
Yeah, I'm with you on it. I've said that. Ben Maller on. One more, I'll let you run. Fox Sports Radio national host overnight, so I'll have a show coming up tonight after Game 4 in New York. Chiefs just extended Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if this is like massive news, but they're taking him all the way out to 2033. He's going to be 37, and $504 million could become guaranteed through the contract. What do you think, Mahomes at 37 years old?
Well, Mahomes has to bounce back. He didn't play well last year for Kansas City, and you don't worry about the 37 because by the time we get to that point when he's 37, the salary cap it just keeps going up. And I'm a salary cap truther, Nate. I believe you can finagle the numbers on the cap and all that. So I'm not really worried. But the Chiefs have made so much money off Mahomes from all the Super Bowl wins they've had in the glory days of Kansas City Chiefs football. He's obviously earned the money. It's like a lifetime achievement thing. Yeah. And, it's good for Mahomes getting the money and all that. And most of these guys are actually underpaid considering if you win at that level, like the Chiefs have, then you're underpaid, and they'll figure it out. The days of Tom Brady playing well into his 40s, he's a unicorn. Obviously, most guys are not going to play that well. But you get to a certain point right around your mid-30s, and you normally fall off the map unless you're on all kinds of pharmaceuticals. Other than that, it generally doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are on the downhill slide. Do you?
Well, this is a fork in the road for Kansas City. Like, they were going the wrong direction. Even when they got to the Super Bowl, it seems really ridiculous to say this. Like, that team that lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, they were winning close games, and they weren't dominating. There was stuff missing from that team that got to the Super Bowl, and then they got absolutely just run over by the Eagles in that game. And then that I don't know if it carried over, but they were bad last year, too, and the guys got hurt. So this is a fork in the road. If they don't have a good year this year, the Chiefs, Andy Reid, I believe, will be out. He could be out even if they have a good year, but if they have a bad year, they're definitely going to make a change there and try to get some new blood into the building. So this is a pivot point, a Waterloo moment, if you will, for the Chiefs.
The one and only Ben Maller on South Dakota Sports Talk Show, Fox Sports Radio national host overnights. Find him on X at Ben Maller. If you're not following him, do that. Watch his show on YouTube. His podcast comes out after every show is wrapped up. And my friend Brian Noe, he fills in for Ben Maller. Can Brian survive the Maller militia?
I feel bad for Brian. The no-show is great, and my guys are very protective, Nate. They can be kind of like Knicks fans, very annoying for people that are not, for anybody other than me. But Brian handles it very well, and he does a great job. And he's my go-to fill-in guy whenever I can't make it, which is rare, but Brian's almost always there.
I believe you. I think Brian knows excellent. Ben, really good to have you on. I appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks, Nate. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time. Ben Maller, host of the Ben Maller Show, Fox Sports Radio, one of the best talk show hosts in the lineup in the country. He's good. Good stuff. Ben Maller getting us started on a Wednesday. Appreciate him coming on in South Dakota locally on the Nate Brown Show. Ben Maller on tonight. I told you he has opinions. I think we could have just let him go for the entire time. Let's go to a great writer. She's covered this a long time. She's got a new book out. We've had her on before, and we got to get a reaction to, man, the circus around Caitlin Clark. I mean, I think this year might be worse than year one. I mean, everybody's drama about Caitlin and the Fever. Or the coach, do they get along? Is the WNBA promoting Caitlin Clark and all of the stuff? Christine Brenneman wrote the book on her game. She was just at the Caitlin Clark game Monday night in D.C. What's her reaction to year 3 of the Fever star coming up?
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. to share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale starts now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now's the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
Time interviews and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, welcome back in. Just getting going tonight. Appreciate you being here across the state on Fox Sports Radio, our affiliates, KWSN Sioux Falls, Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome in both sides of South Dakota. Glad you're here. Ben Maller got us started tonight. First time on the program. National radio host Ben Maller. He's on overnights. I mean, you know, a lot of us are sleeping, right? But I've followed Ben's career for a long time. He does a great job. Overnight radio. Not too many guys do that. Ben Maller, national host on Fox Sports Radio. Wanted to reach out to him. Said, man, you got to come on the Nate Brown Show. And I appreciate him getting started on a Wednesday, talking NBA Finals and more. I want to go to the Caitlin Clark story. It just gets more interesting to me. Year 3 here in WNBA. I feel like this year might be, I don't know, the most controversial yet. I don't know if that's right, but this author wrote a book on it, New York Times bestseller, on her game, and she's covered Caitlin Clark's rise here into the WNBA, and now all this, like, man, there's a lot of drama. Let's just say that this year, a lot of drama. Christine Brenneman, great sports writer and now author of On Her Game. She's back on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Christine, welcome in. How are you?
Well, Nate, I am great. Thanks so much for having me. Hope you're doing well as well.
I'm doing great. The book continues to do well, so that's excellent. My wife said it was just excellent. She told me that this afternoon. She said, reminder, just a great book. So On Her Game, if people don't know it, it's out there, New York Times bestseller. So I wanted to get you on today because I saw you went to the Fever game in D.C. the other night, and they got the win, and it was the Caitlin Clark fashion, the buzzer beater from way outside, 31-footer. And I just thought, man, what a game for you to be at after you wrote this book and the whole thing, and this time right now for the Fever. Am I wrong or right saying, well, it feels like the drama is not stopping?
No, you're right. And I live in D.C. I'm based in Washington, D.C., and so with USA Today and some TV networks. And so it was easy, to go to the game. And I was also at the season opener in Indianapolis when the Fever lost to Dallas. So I've covered a couple of games, and, of course, keep an eye on it because, as you said, I wrote On Her Game, the Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in women's sports. And now the paperback has just come out, which, of course, is, well, I'll just say it, a great gift for Father's Day, as is the hardcover, and I think they're half off on Amazon. The hardcover is so, I'll tell anyone if they want, I can do book plates. I can sign and personalize books, and maybe either go through you or my website, which is just myname.com. If anyone wants signatures, I can mail those off to people.
Excellent.
For any books. I love doing this. It's such a delight. But I did ask Caitlin Clark that specific question. It seems like she got a lot of, she always gets a lot of attention, which is a good thing. I mean, I asked her, is this a kind of a compliment in a weird way, that people care so much about her, they can't stop talking about her, including this year, which, again, last year she was injured and played in only 13 games, as you and your listeners know. She's back. And she's had some really good games. She had a dud and, some others that are not great, but still, most of them fine or even better than fine. But the attention, the columns, people concerned about her body language, her behavior on the court. And, of course, what I said to her, and I know this from reporting the book, is that, this is a topic that's been with her since high school. Her AAU coach, I talked to her about it. College coaches talked about it. We saw it at Iowa. We see it now. And what did she make of it? And, of course, immediately she had a joke when I said it seems like there's more this year. It kind of seems like that anyway. And she said, well, they had a year off last year. Okay. I thought, and she's so sharp. I say in the book she's 22 going on 40 or 50. Well, now she's 24 going on 40 or 50. Just the maturity and her personality and her ability to slough things off and move on. It's remarkable. Just a remarkable young person and athlete and role model. But she went on and on about how she doesn't want to change. As she said, the fire and the passion, it's what makes her her. That fire and passion, that's what makes me me, she said. And I have these on social media at my Twitter account, X, and also Instagram. People want to see these videos. But it's very similar to what she told me for the book, and I quote her at length. She's quoted on almost every page of the book, Nate, just talking about herself, these issues, and that fiery personality that so many people love. But it's also now being examined again and criticized as everyone looks at her, but they don't look at, say, Breanna Stewart, who's also having a moment in the huddle and seen on video, getting mad and angry. Caitlin does that. It becomes a national story like wildfire within a minute or two or hour or two, whereas Breanna Stewart is a great player, and no one cares. It does show how much people care and how interested they are in Caitlin Clark.
So my question to my audience today, I do a question of the day. Christine Brenneman joining us tonight. The book is On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution. I'm telling you, get it if you haven't. She said paperback's coming out, Father's Day coming up, so that's great. Here's my question of the day, and I think it's kind of tough. It's a little loaded, and people say, well, what do you mean by this? My question is, does Caitlin Clark get fair media coverage? Is that a tough question to answer?
No, it's not a tough question for me because you know me, I'm pretty straightforward, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. And, I've covered sports for over 40 years. I've covered, a dozen Super Bowls. I've covered every Olympics since L.A. in 1984. I'll just finished in Milan at my 22nd in a row, gearing up for L.A. again. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because I've been so fortunate, Nate, to cover the biggest athletes in the world, Wimbledon's and Tiger Woods, the length of his career, Masters and U.S. Opens, British Opens. I'm very, very, very fortunate to go from Toledo, go into Northwestern. I'm Midwest all the way, and I'm very, very lucky to have this career and this life that I have. So I've seen a lot, and what hit me for the book is, as you know, as you read it, and these themes in the book are playing out again over and over. And the paperback gets caught up to just a few weeks ago. I mean, I had everything about last year in there as well. And it's like there's so many people who begrudge her when she is the greatest thing that ever happened to the WNBA. I know this because I covered the WNBA in the 90s when no one cared. And I'd go on radio shows like yours, but not like yours, but, sports talk radio, and I'd get laughed at, which, of course, is not like your show, where guys would say, "Oh, this is ridiculous. They're just rolling on the floor, and they're getting, and it's jump balls." And they'd make fun of women's basketball. And I was covering some of it back then for the Washington Post and some TV, Lifetime TV, and WNBA and college women's basketball, as well as everything else, mostly men's sports. And I wanted to give it its due. I wanted to be fair and respectful. So for me to see this moment and to see what Caitlin Clark means, then you get two kind of schools of thought from others. One is, it's not true, it's Caitlin and Angel. That is absolutely ridiculous. The only way Angel Reese could sell out an arena in Chicago was when Caitlin Clark came to town. Even as a home game, Angel couldn't sell that out or couldn't sell out the bigger arenas. And people, Paige Beckers, Paige and Caitlin. No, Paige cannot sell out a 6,251-seat arena in Dallas. 20 games there last year, only 7 were sellouts, 6,251 seats, where Caitlin is selling out 20,000-seat arenas, and, of course, 17,000 in Indy night after night. This year's down a little, but still, my point is, it's Caitlin Clark. And so why the dishonesty there? Why do people want to minimize her? That is just insane, because she is bringing all the eyeballs that now, finally, those players, 74% black league, that never got the attention they deserve from the mainstream sports media. Now they're getting it because Caitlin Clark is there. And the eyeballs on her, Nate, are now on everybody else. So there's that part of it. And then because of that, I think everyone wants to latch on, whether it's a blogger, whether it's a podcaster, whether it's legit radio like you, or legit columnists around the country. They want to write about her because they know they're going to get tons of hits. And her name will be in the headline, and headline writers will say that. Even as people try to minimize her, they're putting her name in the headline because they know she is the draw.
Yeah, I've said I don't know, she's not moving the needle. She is the needle, and people have said that. She is the needle, and that's just what it is. So why the negative drama this year? Coach doesn't like her. Some people think Coach doesn't want to get her the ball in crunch time. I mean, there's all these things, and maybe it just comes with the territory, Christine, but it seems a lot of negativity with this.
Yeah, no, you're right, Nate. And in addition to talking to Caitlin and having some incredibly smart and fascinating answers that, again, are on my social media, or you could probably just Google my name and Christine Brennan and Caitlin Clark, and you'll find it. But also Stephanie White, and I asked her because the fans are frustrated. And a neighbor of mine came up to me the other day and said he's so frustrated, yelling at the TV after the last game, the New York game, because they played horribly in the fourth quarter, and why isn't Caitlin shooting more? And so I asked Stephanie White, the head coach, that question. I love to do that. I love it when I hear from people who care, fans, people, and I can go right to the coach, and I did that. And again, that's all over my social media right now, C. Brennan Sports, or wherever, just people can find it. And Stephanie White talks about, we're working her back in, and Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell are working together, trying to get working together again because Caitlin missed most of last year. The answer, there were some absolutely logical points that Stephanie White made, and I've known Stephanie White for a while, and I like her, and I find her to be a straight shooter. But boy, oh boy, people are furious with her answer because she kind of is saying, well, I'm not really here to worry about the fans. I'm here to put the team together. Yes, that's true. But this team has really been misfiring with all this talent, and I think she's under the gun even more. I will say, though, for those who are saying, well, Caitlin isn't allowed to be Caitlin, my goodness, when she's bringing the ball up, there's a lot that she is doing. She does have those logo threes. Obviously, the game winner, that was absolutely remarkable. Sophie Cunningham, terrific pass, brilliantly called play, and she had the one that tied the game at the buzzer against Washington a few weeks earlier. Beautiful play. So that is happening, but it is confounding to many fans, and I think to many observers. And so, why is this team with so much talent? I'm guessing this is also your listeners, Nate. Why aren't they winning more? Why, for example, with the Mystics, we're down by 17 points. They're a young team. They're going to be good. They're not that good now. And how did they move ahead of the Fever and almost beat them, right?
Right.
These are the questions. The pressure is on. Caitlin answered big time. The question is, can they just unleash Caitlin Clark? And if I were the coach, I would do more of that because that's what people want to see. And also, Caitlin playing freely is exactly how Caitlin plays her best, which then I think lifts the entire Fever team.
Christine Brenneman joining us tonight. Her book is On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports. It's on Audible, but hardcovers out there, paperbacks coming out. On Her Game. Find her on X at C. Brennan Sports. Last one, and I'll let you run. I appreciate your time on Caitlin Clark in this season. They're 6-5, so just kind of middle of the road. We were talking about that. You're not on the beat, Christine, but from earlier this week and just being around Caitlin and the personalities, do you think this team is okay, is in good shape? People that think, oh, they're going to trade her, they're going to get rid of her. Is this team in good shape?
Well, I do think the idea of and the rumors are out there, again, because people care so much, right? So everyone will say everything on social media. We didn't have that 20, 30 years ago with Michael Jordan. Now we do, and people care that much. They're not going to trade her, I don't think, because, they would tank not only the Fever, but it would tank the Indianapolis economy. And, I just don't, and plus she's got another year or two on her contract. So there's that. I do think that this team is not playing up to their potential. And what is wrong? And so I think people know and trust me as a reporter and as a journalist that I'm not going to say stuff that I haven't found out or I'm not aware. So I can guess, and we can all kind of hypothesize on what might be. I'm not going to do that, and I know you're not asking me to do that either, Nate, because my reputation is such that if you're reading the book, if you're reading everything in On Her Game is double, triple, quadruple check. No one has complained about a thing. It's been out almost a year hardcover, and it's now out paperback, as you said. And so that gives me great pride, and it also doesn't surprise me because I care so much about facts. There's clearly this team is not playing the way that they should have been playing. We would have thought they would have maybe only lost 2 or 3 games. They haven't played Minnesota yet, and you guys know how great the Minnesota Lynx are. Your neighbors there, they haven't. There's a couple other teams they haven't played Las Vegas yet. And so what's going on? And my sense from covering the NFL, Washington's football team here, when Joe Gibbs, when they won games and won Super Bowls, is that if a team's not playing well, then something isn't quite right. So I will say that. What it is exactly, I'm on the story. I'll stay on it. I care because the platform for Caitlin Clark, the rising tide lifts all boats, and my goodness, what she means to girls and boys, signing those autographs just a minute or two after she hit that game, what ended up the game winner, almost a buzzer beater, where she's now diving into a group of kids in Washington, in enemy territory, a road game, and signing autographs as everyone else is going into the locker room. Caitlin is doing what Caitlin Clark does. She is so valuable to women's sports. She's so valuable to our culture. I'll even go a step further. She's so valuable to our country as a kind of female athlete we have never seen before. Team sports, never. Most important female team sport athlete we've ever seen on earth. Big statement, but I believe it. And you want that showcase. You want her to be able to do the things she does that brings... She's an entertainer, high-wire act.
Yeah.
And right now, she's not doing all of that. And the question is why? And believe me, Nate, I'm on it.
Okay.
I'm on the story.
I like it. She's having a good season. I will say that. A good season.
Yes.
The Fever...
Oh, yes.
They're 6-5, and they're going to be under the microscope. We got NBA Finals. We have World Cup, and then I think the Fever and the WNBA are going to be under the microscope. Christine Brenneman joining us tonight on Her Game, the book about Caitlin Clark. That's a New York Times bestseller. Get yours if you haven't. It's coming out on paperback as well. Find her on Twitter at @CBrennanSports is where you'll find all the coverage. Christine, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Nate, my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
Appreciate your time. Christine Brenneman, great sports writer and author of On Her Game, New York Times bestseller about Caitlin Clark and her rise and the revolution in women's sports. C. Brennan Sports on X. Follow it and get her coverage of Caitlin Clark and more. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show. Speaking of popularity, do you think this guy is the most popular player in the NFL? Stats came out yesterday, and I just wonder if this means what we think it does next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Choose the bun that's ready for anything. You're thinking just mustard. Then suddenly there's ketchup, onions, relish, cheese, bacon. Just like that, things are getting out of hand. Good thing you chose Village Hearth old-fashioned hot dog buns. They're soft, chewy, and unsliced, letting you customize so they can handle it all. Don't risk the mess. Hot dogs behave better when they're on Village Hearth.
Mom, can we please go to Waitiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Waitiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Waitiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WaitikiWaterPark.com.
Shop the region's unmatched selection of beer, wine, and spirits at your Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. This month's specials include $4 off the big 175 bottle of Jack Daniels, now $45.99. Save $2 off all Menage a Trois wines for only $9.99. Or choose Deep Eddy Vodka, just $15.99 for the $7.50. Price is good at both Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City, off Catron next to Walmart, or the original Mr. Liquor on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A wind advisory begins at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning and remains in effect until 5 p.m. tomorrow night. Lows around 49. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, northwesterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times again. Tomorrow, slight chance of rain showers. Daytime highs approaching 71. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 71.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Hanging with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales. I see new models of stand-up and teardrop campers on your lot.
Yes, you do. We're proud to feature the new SGC Armor line of campers from Bontrager Outdoors. Bang for the buck, there's just nothing out there like these new super cool Armor campers and Bontrager teardrops.
And the suspension these campers have? Wow, so impressive.
All our campers come standard with the off-road package. Bontrager and Armor just ramped boondocking up another notch. And right now, you'll get the best price all year on these 2026 ultra-light, ultra-beefy, option-loaded campers and teardrops.
You gotta check out these new look campers, people. The new designs are fantastic, and so many options for their size.
And so many options for towing. No need for a diesel or a big truck. These only weigh around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds, so they can be towed by almost any rig.
Check out these new 2026 Bontrager and SGC Armor campers, everyone. See AnytimeAnytime.com, and as always, at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show on a busy Wednesday. 2 A-list guests to start the show tonight. If you missed the first hour, a great guest tonight. Ben Maller was live for the first time in South Dakota. South Dakota Sports Talk Show with Ben Maller. Of course, host of the Ben Maller Show overnights on Fox Sports Radio, the Maller Militia. And he joined us on the Nate Brown Show tonight talking NBA Finals and more. The Caitlin Clark story, so much drama, man. I mean, every which way you look, the online chatter about Caitlin Clark's just off the charts. I mean, it's just, well, I didn't think it would get that much drama year 3. Christine Brenneman wrote the book about Caitlin Clark and her rise into the WNBA from her days at Iowa. On Her Game is the book. Christine Brenneman, longtime columnist at Sports Writers, covered a lot of stuff. She just joined us moments ago. Good stuff tonight. Listener text coming in on Caitlin Clark, and I think this is right on the money. Listener text, Caitlin has a lot of jealous observers. There's a lot of people that want to be the one that says, see, Caitlin Clark was a fraud. Sadly, in this era of media, the press loves to do negative stories rather than uplifting stories. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that is right. It's just interesting, though. It's like people are really rooting against Caitlin Clark, and I'm trying to think, like, it's okay. I mean, you don't have to be a number one fanboy like me. Oh, anyway. You don't have to be a fanboy, but you got to appreciate what she's done. She's elevated a sport, and it's not hyperbolic to say she's doing for the WNBA what Tiger did for golf and what Michael Jordan did in the 90s for the NBA. I mean, that's true, guys. I mean, I did not see this coming, that Caitlin would take the Iowa LSU stuff and everybody was interested in it and the rivalry and go to the WNBA in a summer where people didn't care about the WNBA at all. And now Caitlin Clark's like national headline stuff when she hits a buzzer beater on a night where the NBA Finals drew 24 million viewers. I mean, that's wild. And yes, I watched the NBA Finals the other night. I did not watch the Fever game, but if you pull up any of the highlights on social media, so I follow everything, boom, it was Caitlin Clark in there with highlights galore on the same night of Game 3. It's crazy. Okay. I want to jump into this and just get your read on it if you think this matters at all. So the NFL released their top 10 jersey sales right now going into the 2026 season. So top 10 jersey sales. Do you think this tells you who is the most popular, at least up there in the NFL? Or do you think this is just fanboys like me getting jerseys they have no business in buying just to be a fanboy? So the number one jersey sale in the NFL right now is Josh Allen for the Bills. So I'm sitting here going, wait a minute. Josh Allen's beating out Mahomes, beating out some of these big names. And so Josh Allen's number one. Is that just Buffalo fans are crazy? Josh Allen's the hot ticket item? I'm not sure on that. I've told you, I've been a Josh Allen fanboy from his days at Wyoming, had him on the show. I mean, you guys know the story, right? So I'm a Josh Allen fanboy, but I've loved his character, his intangibles, his leadership. I knew all of that stuff at Wyoming. That's why I wanted my Broncos to pick him, and they missed the boat. That's neither here nor there now. But that's why I think people like Josh. I think people are rooting for Josh. He's playing in Buffalo. They haven't won. Josh, high character guy. He just has everything going. He just has everything going. Are you? Is he the most popular player in the NFL? Is that what these stats say? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure you can tie jersey sales saying, that's a most popular player in the NFL. There's got to be some sign. There's got to be some sign that Josh is a massive popular player now. Who would you say is the most popular player in the NFL? Can you guys be fair at all? I mean, if you're like a Chiefs fan, you're like, well, it's still Mahomes. Nah, the Chiefs wore on people. the Chiefs war on people. And the Bills haven't won yet, and people are still rooting for the Bills. Can they get one? Is Josh going to do it? He's a good guy. They want to root for him. He's an unbelievable athlete. He makes these highlight plays. That all comes together. I don't know if there's a more popular player in the NFL than Josh Allen. Who is it? You tell me. Question of the day. Let's make it happen on the text line. I'd like to know just your assessment. Be fair, be objective. We only fair and balanced on the Nate Brown Show. That's all. So 605-720-1067, the Barron's Wilson text line. I would like to know from you, South Dakota sports audience, who do you think's the most popular player in the NFL? Not the best, the most popular player in the NFL. NFL released their jersey sales yesterday. Number one in the league, Josh Allen. Who's the most popular player in the NFL? Who's going to vote for Tucker Kraft? I'm not talking the most popular player in South Dakota. Okay, hang on. I'm not talking most popular player in the NFL. I would put Josh up there. I can't, nobody comes to mind oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that guy. Josh has it all. Not too many people. Do you ever run into anybody who say, I hate Josh Allen? I can't stand Josh Allen. Nobody. My boy. Number one in jersey sales. How about that? You tell me if you got a more popular player. I'd like to hear it. Who else has a Josh Allen jersey? Anybody? Just me? Raise your hand. I bought one. What am I going to do? He comes from Wyoming. I bought it his first year. Still hanging in the closet. Don't wear it very often, but it's in the closet. Coming right back on a Wednesday, 5 questions from Chris. You know he's got some good ones tonight. We'll get to that.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share. To revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale starts now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now's the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Ensemble Entry Doors, the wait is over.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, good stuff tonight. Hope you're having a good day. You're in your drive home, I hope. You're on your way on a Wednesday. The Nate Brown Show is on for you. Fox Sports Radio. Appreciate our affiliates carrying South Dakota Sports Talk Show. KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, and here, Fox Sports Rapid City. Second hour, ready to go. Doug Samuels is coming up. Haven't heard from Doug in a while. High school head football coach and FootballScoop.com content director. Doug Samuels in tonight talking Brendan Sorsby and more. And how about that UND penalty for tampering? You know, University of North Dakota got popped for tampering the same week that Brendan Sorsby got eligible to play after betting on his own team. It's only in the world of college football. Amazing. Doug Samuels coming up. FootballScoop.com. We'll go to Denver. James Merilat's on tonight. DenverSports.com. James Merilat, great guest. He is coming up. You want to be part of the program? Hit us on the Barron's Wilson text line, 605-720-1067. Mark that number down. Text the show, 605-720-1067, asking for who do you think is the most popular player in the NFL going into 2026? Josh Allen has the #1 jersey sale in the NFL that just came out yesterday. And I said, I don't think there's a more popular, well-liked player. Everybody has their issues, but Josh, top tier, likable, great athlete, charity stuff, Buffalo Bills, they've lost. People want him to win. It's just, it's the perfect story. Josh Allen, I don't know if there's a more popular player in the NFL. Who would you say? I got to vote for Kyler Murray. Are you trying to mess with me? Do you want to be the president of the Kyler Murray fan club in South Dakota? I'm the vice president. I've already said that. Are you messing with me? Text here. How about Travis Kelce, Mr. Taylor Swift? Well, the Swifties love him. No, I can't go there. He does like the Swifties like him for sure, but a lot of NFL people do not like him. Correct? Like Travis Kelce is in my top 5 unpopular. I know that's just me, but not just me. Listener text coming in saying, I have Josh Allen's jersey. Well, I do too. The Nate Brown Show, how come we don't have Josh Allen's jersey hanging in the studio? We have Christian Ponder's jersey. It was a gift from a Vikings fan. One of the great listeners of the Nate Brown Show gave me a Christian Ponder jersey, and I don't have Josh Allen's hanging in the studio. It's hanging in my closet. Listener text says, I have Josh Allen's, I have Dawkins, and I have Milano, all Buffalo Bills, but my wife put them away somewhere, so they're lost forever. You can't let that happen. Where'd your Bills jerseys go? You can't let that happen. Let's see. Lister text, Nate, most women are going to go with Joe Burrow. He's most popular among women. Is that right? Why is that? Anyway, that's another topic for another day. Let's get going.
It's time for 5 questions from Chris on the Nate Brown Show.
It's a Wednesday on the Nate Brown Show, so we have our loyal listener, Chris, hanging with me all these years, giving me 5 questions, and I say, let's do the segment, 5 questions from Chris tonight. Question number 1, Nate, the World Cup kicks off tomorrow. Friday's opening match is Canada against Bosnia still has plenty of tickets available. Is it an embarrassing look for one of the host nations to struggle selling out a game, one of their own games? Or is this FIFA pricing fans out? I don't know, man. How big is soccer in Canada? Not very big. I don't think soccer is very big in Canada. It's Canada-Bosnia. It's like, huh? But yeah, I mean, you got to sell out your home match. You have to sell out your home match, Canadians. What's wrong with you? I've seen some of these ticket prices. Not good. Not good. I think it's probably the prices and the lack of passion for soccer in Canada. That's my guess, Chris. My South Dakota Sports Talk guess. Question number 2. Let's stay on the World Cup. The U.S. men's national team can make a deep run on home soil, but history says it could be complicated. Nate, we both know how fragmented soccer's structure is with youth in this country. If the men's team gets bounced early, do you think it's finally the moment that forces U.S. soccer to overhaul the way it develops and recruits players in this country? Well, I don't think they'll do anything about that, Chris. This whole development thing and the youth and all of the stuff, that's so far out. That toothpaste is all over the sink. I mean, that's not just out of the tube. It's all over. So they're going to say we got to go back to the drawing board if the U.S. men's national team gets beat and they don't make it out of their group. They should make it. We got to go back. What are we doing? Landon Donovan's going to point to youth soccer. They're doing things wrong. And I think it's just a bunch of, they're just talking. I've said this. Football is king in the U.S. Soccer is great. I have soccer players. I love soccer. So I'm not telling you. I mean, the World Cup's awesome. They're going to keep talking. How can we get our U.S. men's national team better? It is what it is. We are good. We are not great. Even the USA. Football takes huge athletes out of the soccer pipeline. It just does. It just does. I believe that. Question number 3. NBA Finals have been must-watch TV. And Chris says, I didn't think the Knicks would make it competitive, but every game's come down to the final possession. Which team do you think the NBA front office is secretly rooting for? The Spurs or the Knicks? I'm probably going to go Knicks this year because it's a perfect deal. I don't know if the Knicks are going to make runs anymore. So they want New York. You want to talk about money. You want to talk about brand. You want to talk about celebration and a huge thing if the Knicks win. If the NBA wanted somebody to win, I do believe it's the Knicks. The market, the money, the history, the passion. Spurs have some more runs in them, and I think the NBA knows that. Question number 4. Monday night gave us a wild baseball game. Milwaukee Brewers beat the Athletics 15-14. 29 runs, 11 home runs. Nate, if you're going to a baseball game, what do you want to see? A high-scoring slugfest like that or a low-hit pitcher's duel? Well, it's got to be the slugfest. I appreciate pitching. I mean, that's fine, Chris, but if Scooble's dealing, I mean, if he's dealing, it's fine, but would I rather watch my guy Kerry Wood and the 20 strikeouts or people hitting home runs in 15-14? I want a Coors Field mash party. That's what I want. Question number 5. 5 questions from Chris. If you had the whole summer and some free time here, which backyard lawn sport would you want to pick up? Bocce ball, horseshoes, croquet, badminton, or cornhole, or anything else that comes to mind? Well, hang on a second. South Dakota's lawn game of choice, the Nate Brown Show lawn game of choice. You guys know the only answer to this, correct? We ain't doing bocce ball. I mean, that's fine. It's fun. I'll play with you, Chris. Bocce ball's fine. Horseshoes? It's okay. I'm a Montana legend in the horseshoe pit down at the park, but croquet, get it out. Badminton, whiff. It is South Dakota sport. Isn't it an official sport of South Dakota? Cornhole all day. Last time I checked, I'm Pretty good at the old beanbag toss. Pretty good. Undefeated. Graduation party a couple weeks ago. Undefeated. 5 questions from Chris in the books. We're back with Doug Samuels from Football Scoop next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Sagging, bouncing, or uneven floors? Call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Standing water or high humidity? Nasty odors or dangerous mold? Call Blackburn. Critters, bugs, or other pests? That's right, call Blackburn. It's a fact. Crawl space problems don't get better with time, but they do get better when you call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Call Blackburn Foundation Repair today.
Save big money on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Get your project started right with our huge selection of concrete and mortar mixes. Our concrete products are great for a variety of applications, from installing a walkway to setting a post. View our entire selection of concrete mixes and supplies in store and on Menards.com. Plus, check out the weekly flyer for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A wind advisory begins at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning and remains in effect until 5 p.m. tomorrow night. Lows around 49. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, northwesterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times again. Tomorrow, slight chance of rain showers. Daytime highs approaching 71. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 68.
If you want the peace of mind that your next pre-owned vehicle is the best it can be, you want Honda True, and you only find it at Danny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Our Honda certified pre-owned vehicles are thoroughly inspected and backed by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, up to 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and 3-day exchange. You simply can't buy the wrong vehicle. Search our inventory at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda.
Being in business has its rewards as well as its challenges. It means being the first one in the door in the morning and turning off the lights when you leave at night. Your business is unique, and you need a bank that understands your needs. You deserve the best. You need a financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. If you're thinking of selling your current home, let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, glad you're here. Appreciate you making this show possible. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We're live. Fox Sports Radio across the state, KWSN Sioux Falls. Welcome in. Appreciate you guys. And here on Fox Sports, thanks for hanging with us all these years. From high school to college to the pros, trying to get you covered tonight and every night. Let's go to college football. Footballscoop.com. Doug Samuels. Big story with Brendan Sorsby, and this is just going to keep going here for a while, I do believe. Doug, welcome in, man. Appreciate your time. How are you?
I'm great, Nate. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. As always, you guys do a great job at Football Scoop, and you guys are on this. There's so many ways this is going now. Texas Tech's fighting the fight, and their latest is if people don't want to play us, if people take us off the schedule, we're going to go to court on that too. What do you make of Texas Tech, man? They're all in here.
They are, and I really think they have to be at this point, Nate. I think Brendan Sorsby was one of the top portal quarterbacks. They paid, I think, what's speculated to be about $5 million to land him. So this is really, they're putting their chips all in to protect their investment and go big towards a national title push in 2026.
Yeah. Texas Tech saying, we'll go to court on that too. You want to take us off the schedule? We're going to go to that. How do you feel this is playing out in the public arena? Doug, you guys at Football Scoop, you cover the stories. I felt like it was 100-0 issue. Then I heard some pushback. I still feel like it's 98% to 2%, and the 2% are Texas Tech people. How's this playing out, the Sorsby Texas Tech versus everyone?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the scales do tip in the favor of the non-Texas Tech folks, the people that kind of see it through an unbiased eye. But, it's clear with everyone taking things to court the past couple of years to kind of get their way. We're not in the NIL era anymore. We are in the precedent era. So if a local judge can rule that something like a lifetime gambling ban violates an athlete's medical recovery rights, the NCAA's enforcement is like a toothless jaws. It just doesn't have any teeth behind it anymore because now so many schools are going directly to their state and local judges and getting things overturned by the NCAA. So it's really taking the ball out of their hands.
Do you believe the Big 12, they've had discussions, Doug, this week, and Brett Yormark said we're going to keep those in-house. Do you think there's a lot of push there to say that we got to do something different here? Texas Tech has to do something here. How does the Big 12 play this?
I think that's interesting. I think their commissioner came out with a statement earlier today, a very long-winded statement. There was a couple things that really stood out to me. One was a sentence that said, our role has been to support his, meaning Brendan Sorsby's recovery, not engineer his eligibility. Now, I'm not sure how much of this I believe because, you're kind of looking at it through biased glasses. But again, they're trying to do everything they can to protect their investment. They've got national title hopes. I think they return the number one amount of defensive snaps in the country, and their defense has been nasty the past couple of years. They really need to improve on offense after getting shut out in the college football playoff. And Landon Sorsby was their major step in doing that, and it's a big investment. So again, all chips are in on getting us done. I don't think that the Big 12 can really follow through. I think it's a lot of virtue signaling by the AD saying that they can't. Now, out of conference foes, can they do everything they can? Like Nebraska has been one of those that has said that they don't want to schedule them in any sports, and if they're already on your schedule in another sport, reach out to us and we want to get it changed. But my question on this whole thing is, Nate, and kind of turn it around to you, is what makes this situation so much worse than what happened at Michigan, where there was a competitive advantage? Why is there all the virtue signaling now, and there weren't the entire Big Ten conference during the Connor Stallions deal saying that we're not going to play Michigan? Like, that didn't happen. I don't understand why this is the moment to make that stand.
Yeah, it's interesting, Doug, because people will just say, well, this is the ultimate rule. This is the one. You can't bet on your own team, even if he didn't play, and he didn't play. But you can't bet on your own team because it's going to put in the minds of all of us watching, well, what's happening in this game? Do you believe if Brendan Sorsby plays that people are actually going to question, I wonder if he had bets on this? I do not believe that, but people are saying that today.
Yeah, I think there is going to be a chorus of some people that are saying that, but we've got to keep in mind the facts of the case is that Sorsby's gambling came in a large part during his time at Indiana, and this was pre-Curt Cignetti Indiana, when Indiana was not the emerging national power that they are now, and the defending national champs. So this was back in 2002. Sorsby played 24 games at Cincinnati, and you could argue his 2024 season was better than 2025, and he wasn't betting on those games. So the red flag that raises for me is how can how can Texas Tech stand on this hill that it's a real gambling addiction? Well, to me, a gambling addiction or an addiction of any kind is something that you can't shake. It seems that he shook it for 2 years, and maybe he had shaken it all the way to his time at Texas Tech, and it's biting him. But if he's just seeking treatment now, he didn't need treatment the past. It seems he didn't need treatment the past 2 years at Cincinnati, and that's kind of a red flag for me.
Content director for FootballScoop.com. It is Doug Samuels. He's on tonight. He's a high school football coach as well. He's on X at Coach Sam's with a Z. You can find him there and find him at FootballScoop.com. I've asked people this week. Do you think the NCAA will win on appeal and Sorsby will be done, or do you think he'll be playing in September?
I think Sorsby's attorney, Jeffrey Kessler, really outmaneuvered the NCAA, secured a trial date for February 8th, 2027, which just conveniently happens to be after the college football playoff. My understanding is that the NCAA frantically trying to appeal this case into a court in Amarillo. I believe that court, 4 judges sit on their seats there, all Texas Tech grads. So okay. I don't think that's great news for the NCAA. I see Brendan Sorsby playing this fall, and I think really the interesting thing becomes what happens to Sorsby at the next level, where the NFL gambling is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Our team's going to take a flyer on them, or are they gonna be really impacted by this?
Oh, that's interesting as well. Of course, NFL bans that betting. You can't be in the facility and the whole thing, and let alone on your own team. Okay, last one. There is an interesting landscape, Doug, and you guys cover this at FootballScoop.com a little bit. University of North Dakota self-reported that one of their assistant coaches sent some text messages to a potential transfer before the window opened, and they self-reported from compliance, and then UND got popped a little bit. They got hit with a fine. They can't recruit during the first transfer portal, first week of it. So they get punished by the NCAA on the same week that Brendan Sorsby gets rewarded. I can't believe it. What do you think of the UND situation?
I think Eric Schmidt hit the nail on the head in his interview with a North Dakota podcast. He said they got caught doing a 26 and a 25 mile an hour zone. There's teams out there that are on high speed chases, and they're getting dinged for going 26 and a 25. I think the really interesting thing about this one, Nate, is that how does this set precedent for the Ole Miss and Clemson tampering allegations, where Pete Golding was reportedly texting a Clemson enrollee that was sitting in class and got him to leave for a bag to go to Oxford. And if Pete Golding and Ole Miss get hit with big sanctions because of that, Pete Golding has already said that he's gonna light the thing on fire and really blow a lid on this whole thing as far as tampering goes. So it's one of it's another chapter in kind of the tampering allegations that litter college football.
Yeah, I can't believe it. University of North Dakota, they self-reported because they said, "Oh, we had this happen," and then they get hit. And then on the other side, other people have done that and worse, and it's crickets. Doug.
Yeah, and just real quick, I think it's completely different that it's a junior college player as opposed to those kids go to junior college to land at a 4-year.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll leave it at that.
No, that's another interesting point. It wasn't like he was stealing them from even another team in that conference or at another level. Junior college guy. Doug Samuels on tonight. He's the football director, content director at FootballScoop.com. Great site. We like it. Doug, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me, Nate.
Appreciate your time. Doug Samuels, his reaction from the Brendan Sorsby case to the University of North Dakota tampering case, that those penalties came down this week. FootballScoop.com for the best coverage. Doug and his team there. Good stuff. Appreciate him coming on. Let's go to Denver. There's a lot to discuss with James Merilatt. I want his read on the NBA Finals tonight, Game 4. I want his read on the Broncos and where they're considered to be in the NFL top power rankings right now. James Merilatt, Denver Sports, coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. to share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale starts now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now's the perfect time. So grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
All right, welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show packed tonight. Great guests across the board. We appreciate you. If you miss anybody, maybe you catch the first hour, maybe catch bits and pieces of the second hour. You're getting off work, you're running kids around, you're summertime, heading to a barbecue, getting ready to play cornhole. By the way, I'm undefeated. You want to bring it? I just had a listener text say, I'll take you on. I mean, I just had an undefeated run at my niece's graduation party, so if you want to come at me, I'm ready. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast, though, if you want to listen to this program in its entirety. Download it. You've got every guest. Ben Maller on tonight from Fox Sports Radio, overnight national radio host, really good. Christine Brenneman was on. Her book, Caitlin Clark on Her Game, and all the drama in Caitlin Clark's third year. Christine Brenneman live tonight. So go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show, every guest there on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. Search The Nate Brown Show. How about James Merilatt? Let's get him. He's in. I've been trying to track him down. He's been busy. It's summertime. He's at denversports.com. And I want to talk NBA Finals to start. James, how are you?
I'm great, Nate. Sorry it was hard to track me down, but I'm excited to be on.
You're rolling. That's good stuff. So NBA Finals, how do you see it? Who did you think was going to win this start of the series? Game 4 tonight, pivotal. How do you see it?
I originally thought San Antonio was going to win the series. I was not shocked that they lost a home game to start the series. The fact that they were down 0-2 when they went to New York was pretty stunning to me. They showed a lot of grit and a lot of resilience by winning Game 3. I think they get it done tonight because I'm not going to waver from my pick just yet. If they don't, then it's the Knicks series unless they just have a Warriors-esque choke job here blowing the 3-1 lead. I went with San Antonio just because I think they're the more talented team. They're young, I get it, and everybody says, you got to have your battle scars, so to speak, in the NBA. Yeah, but they told me that in the first round, they told me that in the second round, they told me that in the Western Conference Finals. I don't think all of a sudden they were going to get to the finals and be like, now the stage is too big. I get that it's bigger, but it's not as though they haven't played in big games up to this point. They dethroned the defending champs, and they have the best player in the world on their roster. So I'll stick with San Antonio. I love the toughness they've shown, not only bouncing back, but just, running over guys, running through guys, just going out there and saying, hey, we'll play a physical brand of basketball. And maybe that's resonating with me because I wished for 6 games we'd see somebody on the Nuggets do that against Minnesota. Watching San Antonio do it, I'm like, that's how you play playoff basketball. That's how you establish a tone. And I'll be fine with either team winning. They'd be certainly a legit champion. But I think San Antonio is going to still get it done.
So Nuggets came up short this year. I watched the Nuggets-Spurs game over spring break in Denver. It was a double overtime thriller. That was maybe the best regular season game of the year. Nuggets pulled it out, won by 2. And I thought, this Nuggets team can be really good. You just said Wemby's the best player in the NBA. Is he the face of the NBA? We talked about Jokic being the MVP and being the best player in the NBA. And now Wemby's passed him?
He has because he's great on both ends of the floor. I don't know that I've ever seen a player impact more shots defensively than Wemby does. Even if he doesn't block them, guys get into the paint, and they're having to add arc to it. They're scared to get their shot blocked. He alters so many shots that don't show up in the stat sheet. It's pretty remarkable. And Jokic, maybe it's recency bias, but he was so bad defensively and so unable to protect the rim at all in that Minnesota series. He's the best offensive player in the world, but he's not the best all-around player. Wemby is that. I think at this point Wemby probably is the face of the league just because people are so down on SGA after all of the flopping and the nonsense and everybody was just rooting against Oklahoma City. LeBron is at the end of his run, whether it's another year, maybe 2, but that's coming to an end. It's coming to the end for Steph. It is Wemby's league at this point. Great all-around player, can play both ends, and you see in the TV ratings. I mean, it's New York, so I get why it was the highest-rated finals game since 1998 with 23 million people on average watching it. But it wasn't just because it was the Knicks. It's also because their opponent has the guy that everybody who isn't a Knicks fan wants to watch. So I don't think the ratings would have been that if it was New York, Oklahoma City. Probably would have been that New York, Denver, because Jokic is certainly a draw. But Wemby is, if you live in any NBA town and you're looking at the schedule and saying, all right, what game do we want to go buy tickets to? Is there a team you're going to circle before San Antonio? I don't think so. I think it's the team. I think it's the player and the team everybody wants to watch.
I'm with you on that. I said Wemby is the face of the league. I think that already for the next 10 years. James Merlatt joining us from Denver wanted his take on NBA Finals. So I went Spurs in 6. You're going to hang with the Spurs. Big Game 4 coming up shortly. DenverSports.com. So let's go to this Broncos story. You guys have it up there at DenverSports.com. ESPN put out the Power Index. That's the analytics stuff, and they break it all down. Who has the best odds to win the Super Bowl? The roster, schedule, the whole thing. Broncos go from one injury away from the Super Bowl last year, adding Jalen Waddle. The Broncos are 15 best odds to win the Super Bowl in the Power Index. What do you say?
I say run to the window and get the value while you can. Look, do I think they should be 1, 2, or 3? Probably not. I think the Rams have the best team and that would be my betting favorite at this point. Certainly the Seahawks, the defending champs, even losing Kenneth Walker, they still got to be in the conversation. The Broncos are getting disrespected, but not by a ton. I think they should probably be about 8, somewhere between 8 and 12. The problem Denver runs into is you start going through the AFC, it is going. I heard our morning show host talking about this morning, and I couldn't agree more. I don't know that there's a 14 or a 13-win team in the AFC, but there could be 10 teams that are going to be flirting with 10 wins, and it is going to be bunched up. It's going to be like one of those NASCAR races after, they've had a yellow flag until the final lap, and all of a sudden everybody's bunched up and they're going three wide trying to get to the checkered flag. That's how the last month of the NFL season is going to be. Because, just in the division, it's, Denver obviously could get there. Chargers could get there. Kansas City. Cincinnati's going to be back. Baltimore's good. The Buffalo, the list goes on and on and on. New England, it's not hard to come up with 8 to 10 teams, Houston, that could get to 10 wins. That just makes it to where, you snub your toe in a game or two that you shouldn't, and you throw in the Broncos' tough schedule. I can see why people move them down. I think 15, which would be on the outside looking into the playoffs, I think that's a little ridiculous for the defending number one seed.
The first 6 weeks, I think, for the Broncos are unbelievable. The games are really difficult. Do you think the NFL office said, here you go, Sean, have fun?
No, I don't. They got to play those 6 at some point, right? So I guess it's all kind of how you look at it. I think there's actually some favors in there. I think people look at that first 6 games the wrong way and go, oh, boy, if you can just be 2-4, you're fine. I think almost every opponent in that 6, if you were doing radio in, pick one of the cities, right? Buffalo, L.A., maybe even San Francisco, although that game's in the Bay Area, looks at it and says, Jacksonville. Take Jacksonville, for example. If we're doing radio in Jacksonville and we're going through the schedule, the Jags aren't going 17-0, so you got to find where do I think the losses are. Yeah, they won at Denver last year, but that's a probable L, right? So that's how other teams are looking at coming to Denver, and we're looking at it like, it's mission impossible. So I think that's just the wrong attitude, but it's also you're getting Kansas City. First time Mahomes is going to be back on the field. That's a benefit. You're getting the Rams when they've gone to Australia, come back here. I think they play the Niners on a Monday night, then have to come here on a semi-short week. You're getting the defending champs in Denver on a Thursday night, so Seattle has to travel and play you on a short week. So 3 of the 6, there's some beneficial scheduling there. They also play 4 of the 5 teams that don't have a national TV game, and they get to play one of them twice. So in the NFL, there's no layups, but that's as close as you're going to get. That's 5 layups. So, I don't think it's as bad as people think. And then I think after that 6-game stretch, man, they have a 2.5-month stretch there where it is it's a lot of green lights, so I don't think it's as bad a schedule as people think.
James Merilatt on tonight from Denver. He is at denversports.com. Great coverage. And on Twitter at James Merilatt in South Dakota tonight. James, always appreciate it. Thanks.
No sweat. Appreciate it. Thank you.
James Merilatt, denversports.com for the best coverage of the Broncos and more. He's going Spurs still. I'm going Spurs. You know that. You know I'm going Spurs. Big game tonight, man. This is the one. Spurs had to have the last one, yes, but this is the one. You get this one tonight, now we got a party. Now we got a problem for the Knicks. Game 4 coming up shortly. Before we wrap up this show, who's hot and who's not. USC football just hired a new staff member. You're not going to believe what his job is. Coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Time to get the groceries for this weekend's cookout. You pick out the best quality grass-fed ground beef and the finest all-natural hot dogs. And then you almost blow it when you hit the bread aisle and reach for the Mad Buns just because they're national brand. Don't do it. Upgrade to locally baked Village Hearth hot dog and hamburger buns. They're soft, fresh, and sturdy enough for toppings that mean business. Success! Village Hearth. Because when the bun's that good, everything you put in it just tastes better.
Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer from Denny Menholt Toyota. Use your phone. It's fast and easy. Pull up our website, Click on Value Trade-In, scan your VIN, and tell us about your car. You are on your way to a no-hassle, no-commitment cash offer on your vehicle in under 5 minutes. Bring your vehicle and your Kelley Blue Book instant cash offer to Denny Menholt Toyota and get cash or trade-in credit today. See you soon at Denny Menholt Toyota, Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A wind advisory begins at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning and remains in effect until 5 p.m. tomorrow night. Lows around 49. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, northwesterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times again. Tomorrow, slight chance of rain showers. Daytime highs approaching 71. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 68.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Hi, this is Jeremy with Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, inviting you to kickstart your morning by dropping by and grabbing some fresh donuts. I want to thank you for voting us the best in the Black Hills. We're up early making your favorite donuts, so stop by and bring some to the office. Everybody loves Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, and we love you, so stop by, get a great selection to brighten up your day. Serving Rapid City for over 40 years, Jerry's Cakes and Donuts at 109 East Omaha, and remember to like Jerry's on Facebook for some great giveaways.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, welcome back in. Let's go tonight with a Who's Hot and Who's Not. Every night at this time, brought to you by our friends at the Pizza Ranch. I'm telling you, the best buffet is at the Pizza Ranch. Buffet your way. Fun Zone Arcade for the kids. No picky eaters. They've got everything you want. Salad bar, cactus spread. Brandon location's great. East 10th Street, Sioux Falls is great. Home of everyone's favorite buffet, the Pizza Ranch. Who's Hot and Who's Not on the Nate Brown Show tonight. In my Who's Hot category, I got to give you that number because I was even surprised. They say the NBA Finals matchup, Game 3, Monday night, brought in 23.8 million viewers, ABC and ESPN. That's the largest NBA Finals Game 3 since 1998. That's Jordan and the Bulls against the Jazz. That's Jordan and the Bulls against the Jazz guys. So huge numbers. We'll see Game 4 tonight in New York. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category tonight, USC football hiring the first of its kind position today, a director of artificial intelligence. No, Lincoln Riley's going to have a new staff member. They just hired him today, the director of AI for USC football. They don't know if he's going to be on recruiting, game management, or what the parameters are, but director of AI for college football now? I don't get it. I'll try to figure out tomorrow. See you back here on the Nate Brown Show.
The following radio ad is Good Fun Squad approved.
My name is Jenny, and I'm the latest